When it comes to the best of British wildlife, it's fair to say seagulls aren't really the top of many people's lists.
No, they're seen by many as food-stealing pests, I guess, very noisy sometimes. But scientists say they are very intelligent, and conservation experts are warning that gull populations across the UK are dwindling, and we should be concerned about it. Attitudes need to change. Helen Briggs reports.
Seagulls showing off their flying skills on a winter's day. They may be a common sight near the coast, but hit by bird flu and the loss of wild spaces, some populations are in trouble.
I don't think people realise their numbers, especially of our breeding gulls, have been declining. Perhaps they don't take so much notice of them and realise that numbers have been dropping off, because they're quite a visual species, aren't they? You know, they're in our towns and parks and urban areas, and we've become quite familiar with them.
3 common gulls and 26 black-headed gulls there.
In January, hundreds of volunteers took part in the first national survey of winter gulls in 20 years to get a better picture of the 6 main species that spend the winter here.
We're looking at sort of tides dropping and the gulls are starting to gather. So we've got a lot of black-headed gulls here, a few common gulls and some herring gulls. And the idea of today's exercise is to count them coming in, to census, look at population change.
But not everyone's a fan of seagulls. Some species, such as the herring gull, are notorious for raiding bins and stealing food. And here in Brighton, people have mixed views.
People are very unkind and cruel to seagulls. They throw stones at them.
Hate them.
Why do you hate them?
Yeah, the other day I ate a donut and they just stole it right out of my hand.
They love a donut. I know you can't walk around with food in your hand. That's the only problem with the seagulls. But other than that, they're cushy.
I had my sandwich here while I was, I don't know, taking something from my bag, and then a seagull just took my sandwich away from me, so I need to buy food now.
But this scientist says seagulls aren't the problem, it's us.
When we see their behaviour in terms of stealing or theft, what we should actually perceive is the intelligence of the animals.
So we need to think differently about them.
I would say so, yeah. To think of an animal as a pest is a negative mindset. If we think of them as intelligent creatures thriving in an environment that we've forced upon them, then that should give us a more respectful outlook on herring gull behaviour.
The experts say it's likely more seagulls will settle in our cities and evolve ever more cunning behaviour. And when they visit the urban environment, sometimes they get a bad press. That seagulls misunderstood, do you think?
Yes, absolutely, I think so. I think they're very charismatic creatures and definitely get a bad rap for sometimes aggressive behaviour in the breeding season, but they are a part of our natural world and they're just taking advantage of the hand that's been dealt them.
The data from the survey will be used to draw up new conservation plans for seagulls, with the hope we can learn to live better alongside each other. Helen Briggs, BBC News on the South Coast.
So, where do you stand on gulls?
Not a fan.
No.
Pinch my chips.
Yeah. I mean, we'd love to hear your experiences of any encounters you've had with gulls. I mean, chips and ice creams, sandwiches, anything they can get their hands on.
Noisy.
Maybe they nest near your home, but they are impressive.
I'm really intelligent. I mean, that piece makes it really clear how intelligent they are.
And huge, some of them. They're like the size of small dinosaurs, some of these birds. But we'd love to hear your own stories, and you can send us your videos on WhatsApp. So the number is just there for you. But I'll read it out. It's 0330 123 0440, or you can scan the QR code that you can see just there, and that will automatically start a chat with us. And, of course, you can get in touch via email. Yeah,
all the usual ways. Email there on the screen, and also on social media at BBC Breakfast. We're going to speak to the British Trust for Ornithology about why seems like this may be more common in our towns and cities, but the number of seagulls is on the decline. We'll explain why.
You're not allowed to say seagulls, by the way, are you?
Sorry,
there's no such thing. But you've been getting in touch about this already. Curtis sent us this brilliant picture from Port Isaac of a seagull eating, well, an entire ice cream cone. And there'll be loads of people who've had that experience with seagulls.
Who did it pinch that from?
Yeah.
I want to know. Some poor child.
Oh.
Yeah. But they're on the decline. Anne said a seagull attacked me from the side whilst I was eating a sandwich, knocked the glasses off my face, thought I'd been punched because they're huge.
Yeah, they are
Some
massive.
of these seagulls are big. Until she spotted the seagull then enjoying her lunch.
I love these stories. Steve's also been in touch. He says this. He was attacked by a seagull while eating a very expensive burger on a day out in Minehead and was left with a scar above his eye. Sorry, that's not funny. That's actually quite serious.
As everything, that story, doesn't it? Send us your experiences, any encounters. We're going to talk about why seagull numbers are falling, but if you've had stuff pinched, you've had your lunch eaten...
And also, just what's the best way to avoid them? If you know that there are seagulls circling in the area, other than don't get food out.
An umbrella.
Yes.
Or a hard hat.
Yes, you love a hard hat.
I do. Send us your stories in all the usual ways. You've been sharing your seagull stories with us this morning. Cassie from Bristol sending us this picture of her son Dexter on holiday in Devon. I think someone has designs on that ice cream by the looks of it. She said that they love the seagulls, but could watch them all day. Well, I think it's them watching you.
Do have
actually.
their fans, yeah. Alan from Staines says he's visited every day by a pair of herring gulls and it is the best way to recycle any excess food.
Not such positive stories, though, for everyone. Donna says that seagulls lay their eggs in her chimney every year, and it means the overprotective adult birds means she has to now peg out her washing using an umbrella to avoid being attacked.
It's not easy one-handed, is it?
That's a good point, actually.
And another viewer said they were attacked by a seagull who stole their ice cream in Pembrokeshire. They said a policeman saw it happen and said, if you can identify the seagull, I will arrest it. I don't know how far that went down the court process.